risk of potential bodily injury, and I don't think they can even prove what even happened. I don't know how you prove that he could have known if they can't even prove what actually transpired in that van.
Eric, I see you smirking a little bit, but you made tweets that sounded very similar to that earlier today, that you think that the verdict will be not guilty.
I'm smirking because I hate agreeing with her on this case. That's why I'm smirking. I did make some tweets about this case. I don't see how they can prove this case, quite frankly. Especially when the cases were severed, when everyone's trials were separate. They didn't have everyone in one collective group where a jury, if they looked at all of them...
Didn't the prosecutors make that decision?
The judge made that decision.
Okay.
The judge made the decision. But they had the choice of who they were going to try first, and they tried this one, which I thought was the wrong decision to try this guy's case first.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, so you have two attorneys here, both agreeing that perhaps it's going to be not guilty. I don't think the city of Baltimore is, what are they going to... What's going to happen? A not guilty verdict. I mean, you've got to imagine maybe a worst case scenario. And will the police be able to do their jobs?
Well, I think one of the things I agree with them also, you have to prove he didn't put the seatbelt and he knew he was going to get an injury. And then you got to prove that he didn't have the injury before he got into the truck. There's so many variables.
But they had a name for bouncing people around in the back of the paddy wagon.
But in their mind, they never dreamt they were going to kill somebody by doing it. But what this said is that I just am outraged that there's nobody in Baltimore that was arrested for the looting, for the arson. Let the police do their job.
Let's stay focused on a man's death, Bo.
Aaron, and I'll let Eric, real quick. Did they do that deliberately so that they would bounce around and get hurt? Sort of to teach them a lesson. Not to kill them, but to sort of, bust them up a little bit.
I think it's decently likely, but they can't prove whose fault it was. Rough ride is very common.
All these police officers, they said
I have to take exception one thing, Eric.
Real quick, take exception.
People that own stores there, the looters, the arsonists, why should they get away with that?
Is that right? That question.
Eric,
we have to brace for it getting pretty wild. Now here's Lou.